SOP for brake grinding noise. Brake noise is one of the most common complaints which dealers are receiving, majority in Meteor, New Classic, Hunter. Although it's not a functional issue, customers may remain dissatisfied as the noise may be irritant. Floor supervisor, workshop team, to diagnose the brake noise. The floor supervisor received the vehicle with the understanding of customer reported complaints. Validate the basic checks: brake oil level, brake pedal or lever play. Confirm the noise as brake grinding noise. Refer the video. Action to be taken. Step 1. Check service history. Check for any past history for the wheel and brake related issues. In case of anything, verify the fitment of wheel and brake related parts. Verify the caliper to disc plate fouling, rotate wheel and check. Check and verify with customer for any disturbance in brake system at local workshop or alteration. If so, verify the fitment. Step 2. Rear wheel notch position check. Line mark in swing arm will match with line marking in adjuster. This mark position in the swing arm should be the same on both LHRH sides as shown in image. Allowed notch position difference is plus or minus 1 notch. In case of more than 1 notch difference found, adjust the position to match both sides and check. For the noise, if noise is repeated, follow next step. Step 3. Visual inspection in disc. Check for any physical damages like deep dent, damage, scoring mark on the rear disc both sides. If we could feel the damage by nails, replace disc and brake pad and check for the noise. If the scoring marks are found, change the disc. If noise is repeated, follow the next step. Step 4. Disc face out. Park the vehicle in center stand. Set up the plunger dial as shown in the image. Ensure the preload on the plunger before starting the measurement. Rotate the wheel slowly and observe the deflection in the dial indicator. If phase out is greater than 0.30 mm, replace the disc. Check and verify the phase out of the new disc is lesser than 0.30 mm, then check for noise. If found, follow next step. Step 5. Caliper to disc plate gap. Check for the caliper to disc gap. Check at rider and pillion condition also. Insert feeler gauge of 0.3 mm between the disc caliper bracket gap LHRH side and move the vehicle forward completely for one full rotation of the rear wheel. If feeler gauge entry is hard or not entering, check for the updated spacer between the caliper and wheel assembly, right hand side. If an old spacer is present, replace it with a new updated spacer which is present between the caliper bracket and wheel assembly on the right hand side. If feeler gauge entry is free for full rotation, go to next step. Brake hose orientation SOP. If the brake noise still persists, parts needed for following the SOP. Step 1. Mark the line with paint marker on brake hose at shock absorber bracket end as shown. Step 2. Pull the hose forward till the white mark on hose moves 13 to 15 mm. For details, refer table. Step 3. Tie only the brake hose using cable strap with swing arm in pulled condition. Ensure WS's sensor cable is not strapped. Step 4. Pull the brake hose near the swing arm pivot point. No slackness allowed in the house routing. Tie the brake hose using cable strap with swing arm on grommet in the pulled condition. Step 5. Mark a white line on the sides of the strap as shown in image to check the movement after test ride. Step 6. Verify the brake hose not touching on the swing arm as shown in image. Step 7. After strapping the cable tie at 2 locations, rotate the wheel by hand and observe the noise. Test ride the vehicle for till 10 kilometers. Check for noise disappears or intensity reduced. If noise is not repeated, vehicle can be handed over to the customer. If noise intensity reduced, educate the customer that brake performance is not affected by this noise. If in case noise repeated intensity is not reduced after all steps, please get in touch with the technical support team. Brake pad change recommendations. Don't replace the brake pads without checking the pad or drum wear indicator. Measure the brake pad with vernier caliper as shown below. Without brake back plate, ideal brake pad material will be around 3 to 4 mm thickness. Measure the friction material thickness and then decide to replace the brake pad or not. Brake friction material completely worn out. Brake pad thickness when attained 5.3 mm need to replace. Brake friction material is still left out. Brake pad can still run for 1000 to 2000 km, 6.19 mm. Consult with customer before going for replacement. Note: if one side of the brake pad is worn out, please proceed for replacement. If the rear brake pad alone is worn out, there is no compulsion to replace the front brake pad also along with rear brake pad.